willkommen zurück hier bei TimeToDrei und nein, das ist unsere dritte Aufnahmesession. Ich glaube, wir könnten jetzt vielleicht bis zum Ende dieses Playthroughs so, ist nicht mehr ganz viel, aber vielleicht auch nicht.
Mal schauen.
Also es kann auch gut sein, dass wir es bei der
in dieser Folge für euch auf jeden Fall nicht.
Nee, das dauert für euch noch ein bisschen.
Genau.
Was haben wir gerade gemacht? Wir haben als letztes die beiden Puzzleräume gehabt und dann hat sich Ace geopfert. Ne?
Genau, Ace haben wir jetzt hinter uns gelassen.
Der hat sich selbst gesagt, ich gehe bei Pier, geht mal weiter. Und dann haben wir
und er hat irgend so eine Medizin genommen, damit er ausgenockt
Genau, und dann haben wir uns für Tür 8 entschieden und Clover ist mega fertig mit der Welt, weil Snake
genau,
weg ist.
Ja, leider.
Ja.
Okay.
Weil Snake weg ist, musste halt einer hier bleiben, weil wenn halt natürlich alle 9 und auch bei der 19. Mann schon tut ist, weil wenn du alle 9 Leute hättest, könntest du natürlich durch alle 3 Türen durch mit den jeweiligen Quersummen.
Weil man auch immer zu 3 bis 5 sein muss oder so.
Genau.
Okay, alles klar. The door had opened. A narrow hallway stretched out before them. Lotus and Clover leapt through the door. The moment they did, their bracelets beeped. Ich fand übrigens sehr lustig die Empörung ob unserer Ninth-Diskussion. Es ist wohl eindeutig nein.
Ja.
The detonators in the bracelets had been activated. Junpei stepped forward to follow them.
Habe ich gerade auch in den Main gesagt?
Das weiß ich nicht.
Möglich.
Weiß ich gerade wirklich nicht.
Ja.
But as he was about to step over the threshold, he stopped. He looked to his left. Toward door 7. June stood there, a mirror image of Junpei. She turned and looked toward him. Their eyes met. They nodded.
Guckt ihr nicht geradeaus zur Wand?
Geradeaus zur Wand? Ach so, ja, weil theoretisch schon. Their farewell took almost 1.5 seconds.
Jesus.
Then someone took hold of Junpei's arms and hauled him bodily through the door.
Körperlich?
Weiß ich auch nicht.
To boldly huddle.
Heftig. He heard the sound of the numbered door slam shut behind him. His bracelet gave a cold electronic beep.
81 seconds left. Hurry!
Lotus snapped at him and ran to the dead. Junpei and Clover followed her as fast as they could.
Oh Gott, jetzt ist man mit Clover und mit fucking Clover unterwegs. Die Stimme, die ich da machen muss.
Ja, aber die ist ja immer so.
Ja, aber jetzt glaube ich einfach das so zu machen.
Schüchtern.
Weil ich so ein bisschen. Naja, nicht schüchtern war ja. Akane. Akane hat immer so gesprochen.
Stimmt.
Deswegen muss ich eigentlich für Clover irgendwie was anderes
aber
finden,
momentan
so.
ist sie halt so.
Ich glaube, ich mache bei Clover einfach so, dass sie auch so höher spricht, aber nicht so leise und langsam, sondern eher so. Ha, oh.
Ho, ha, hi.
Puh. It stopped.
With a shaking hand, she wiped a few beads of sweat from her forehead.
Frauen schwitzen.
Clover, however, was calm, aloof perhaps.
Pointless.
She muttered to herself without emotion and began to walk down the hallway, leaving behind a confused Junpei and Lotus.
Oh, was very effective.
Lotus watched the girls receding back with a mix of frustration and curiosity.
What an unpleasant girl. I bet she's not very popular with the boys.
Her sarcasm seemed a little more biting than was perhaps necessary, but she sighed and started after the young girl.
Ja, welche erwachsene Frau sagt was? So ein Kind. Oder Teenager.
After taking a moment to catch his breath, Junpei followed. The hallway made a number of turns before at last coming to a dead end. Set into the wall on the left side was a large iron door. For a few minutes they stood in front of the door, examining it.
Was? Mehrere Minuten lang? Was untersuchst du an der Tür?
Ich glaube, die meinen auch immer eher Momente als Minuten. Auch. Above the door was a plate with the word laboratory engraved on it.
A laboratory, huh? That doesn't sound very pleasant. I don't like the look of this place. Me either, but there aren't any other doors. It's not like we have a lot of choices. Junpei. Huh? Please, you first.
Junpei suspected her politeness was motivated by something other than respect.
Ugh.
Junpei muttered to himself and pushed open the iron door.
Jontron walks through the door. Der macht so komische Videos seit ein paar Monaten.
Wirklich.
Seit er das Studio hat, einfach so weirde Sachen.
Ich denke mir immer, mein Gott, die Produktionswerte in diesen Videos sind so unfassbar.
Ja, der bekommt ja klar, der ist ja bei Disney quasi.
Ja.
Seit der, glaube ich,
So
dieses Star
heftig.
Wars-Ding hat er diese unglaublichen Studios. Aber da hat auch einmal so einen Typen, der in so einem komischen Alien-Schleim-Kostüm drin war, was so mega abartig war.
Das habe ich noch nicht gesehen.
Boah, das war so mega abartig. Naja, andere Geschichte.
Yeah, his first steps inside were tentative and careful, but as he examined the room, it became clear that there was no imminent danger. Lotus followed him in, and Clover brought up the rear.
Lotus hob ihren Hintern an.
The room they found themselves in was divided into two separate areas by a curved wall. A thick glass window built into that wall made it possible to see into the other side of the division. Junpei walked to the window and looked through.
Das kann ich zum Drück gleich, ne? Für den Rätselraum fällt mir auf. Ich guck gleich rein.
Ich habe meinen 3DS heute mit, fällt mir ein.
Oh, da kannst du gleich mal
Kann
deinen
ich gleich
Stylus holen.
den Stylus holen.
What the hell?
He wasn't sure what else to say,
Entschuldigung, warum hast du deine Videospielkonsole zur Arbeit mitgebracht?
weil ich dachte, ich nehme heute vielleicht ein bisschen Adrian Odyssey Footage auf, aber
Okay. Gerade noch so, Herr Golk.
in the center of a room shaped like a quarter circle, a mannequin lay on what looked like a medical exam table.
That looks like a medical exam table. that looks so creepy.
Junpei jumped a little. He hadn't noticed Lotus come up next to him.
You don't think that thing is going to suddenly sit up or something, do you? Well, I don't know. I mean, look at all those cables sticking out of it. If we press the wrong button, I don't know. Stop it! I just thinking about it is terrifying.
She was gripping her arms, the knuckles on her hands white. It was then that Junpei noticed Clover. She was still standing near the entrance of the room. Her face had the appearance of calm, but it was drawn and somehow sad. There was something almost pitiful about her. Junpei walked over to her and as kindly as he could spoke.
Are you okay?
Clover looked away.
What are you talking about? Well, I'm just worried about you. You've been really quiet. What, I can't be quiet if I want to?
So ein Teenager.
Yep. Well, I mean, of course you can. It just... Okay then. If I can be quiet if I want, just leave me alone, okay? Come on, you know I can't do that. We gotta work together.
Clover bit her lip and was
Clover bit
silent
Junpei's
for a
lip.
moment. Then suddenly,
Junpei, you just don't get it.
her cry took Junpei by surprise, and he stumbled backward a few steps, alarmed.
My brother's not the kind of person who just leave me behind. Something happened to him. Something bad.
Junpei had nothing to say. Lotus, jolted from her mannequin nightmares by Clover's voice, turned toward them.
What happened?
Clover's eyes slid to Lotus, then back to Junpei.
Look, just don't bother me, okay? Leave me alone.
Finished, she turned around. Before Junpei or Lotus could say anything, Clover had begun to walk quickly away.
Hey! Wait, Clover! Hold on!
He might as well have been talking to a wall for all the notice she took of his cries. Not even slowing down, she made for a doorway cut in the wall in front of her. Without even slowing down, she passed through the doorway. Ooh. And without warning, an iron gate fell from the ceiling like a portcullis, sealing Clover in.
What the heck? What's going on here?
Clover grabbed hold of the iron bars and shook them as hard as she could.
Hang on, I'll get it open.
Junpei grabbed the iron bars and pulled. In a moment, Lotus joined him. The three of them pulled as hard as they could.
Damn it, it's not moving.
It's no use.
Wait. Are you just gonna give it up? No, are you just gonna give up just like that? No, I'm not giving you up. I'm never going to let you down. There's got to be another one of Zero's puzzles. If it is, then there's got to be a way to open it.
Junpei nodded.
Just what I was thinking. Now all we gotta do is find it. Lotus and I can look around here. Clover, you're gonna have to see if you can find anything in there. Oh yes, I'm on it.
Yes.
Wirklich? Yes? Achso, okay.
Das ist jetzt das.
das stimmt, das ist sehr yes.
Und wegen mir könnte jetzt ein Skip kommen zum Ende
ja,
des
genau.
Rätsels.
Ich glaube auch wegen einer Zuschauer. Wir skippen das Stellen ganz kurz, weil du dann Stylus holst.
Stimmt, ich muss den Stylus holen.
Cut! So, Tom, wir müssen einmal die grün leuchtenden Schränke untersuchen. Die sollten rechts von dir sein.
Die grün leuchtenden Schränke rechts.
Aha, ruhig so.
Da haben wir...
Ethanol. So, dann irgendwo, wenn du mal rausgehst und nach rechts guckst, da rechts sollte auf dem Kart irgendwo ein Kabel sein. Das war ein Verlängerungskabel. I don't know how we could use any of these. Well, I can say for sure that I do know how to use at least one of these things. Which one? The one on top. I think it's a power cable. The power cable, huh? I take that.
Yay!
Okay.
Oh, schön. Schöner Texturmatch.
Ja, ne? So, dann einmal auf den Monitor in der Mitte drücken. I think this thing's supposed to power that machine in the other room. Well, it doesn't appear to be doing that. I wonder how we're supposed to turn it on. Drück nochmal drauf. Okay, geh mal da raus und das ist, glaube ich, der Moment, der nicht im Walk besteht. Geh nach links einmal. Klick mal da auf den Monitor. Dann nochmal. This monitor doesn't have a power cable. So one end of this cable needs to be connected to a monitor. And the other end needs to plug in under the desk. Alright, let's just slip you in. Huh? Well, shoot, I can't use this. What's wrong? This cable has 3 prongs, but the socket only has 2 holes. It's not gonna fit, is what I'm saying. In other words, we're gonna need a plug to change the power cable to one with 2 prongs. That's right. So, das war die Info, die man braucht, um was Bestimmtes gleich triggern zu können. Genau, jetzt gehen wir da noch links, wo Clover durch die Tür gegangen ist und das Ethanol auswählen und drücken dann auf das Tor, weil dann geben wir das Clover. Junpei, do something, please! Huh? Quick, figure out how I'm gonna get out of here. Okay, okay, das geht noch nicht. Ich habe jetzt übersprungen. Dann gehen wir mal hier raus und dann zweimal nach links, oder einmal nach links und dann auf das Fenster. So, und jetzt drückst du einmal links auf das Mannequin. Is this like an examination table? There's a creepy mannequin here, guys. Ich drücke auf den Table daneben. I don't know what kind of table this is, but part of it's all black. There's a pen lying over here. I think someone's probably used it to make the table black. Well, if they only used the pen on one part of it, there's probably something underneath all the pen. Clover, do you think you can erase it? Yeah, sure. Oh, this is a permanent marker. Junpei, do you know how to erase ink from a permanent marker? Erase ink from a permanent marker, huh? Give me just a minute, Clover. Clover, use this ethanol. You should be able to wipe off that permanent ink with it. What am I gonna wipe with it? Oh, well, your clothes, of course. Haha, I'm kidding. Please don't look at me like that, you're scaring me. Und jetzt gehen wir nochmal zurück und gucken auf den Table, wie wir es gerade gemacht haben. Clover, can you use the cloth on the table? Huh? Use? Soak it in ethanol and then use it to wash off all the stuff from the permanent marker, okay? Right, okay, so I gotta soak the cloth with the ethanol. Well, she's got the cloth, but she seems to be having a little trouble with the bottle of ethanol. When she's ready, I should ask her to get to work on that stuff on the table.
Ja, nochmal draufdrücken.
Yeah. Soak the cloth in ethanol and... Junpei, it's working! It's wiping the permanent ink off! Huh? There's some kind of weird drawing under all the permanent ink. What's the deal with that drawing Clover found? Maybe I should ask her to take another look at the table. Oh, maybe you should.
Dumm.
I wonder what this is. There are a bunch of numbers and some kind of grid? I can't see it from here. Clover, you've got a pen and a notebook, right? Could you write those numbers down and then hand them to me through the bars? Okay, Roger. Braucht meine Hilfe gar nicht. Here, Junpei, I wrote down all the numbers from the desk on there. Paper with numbers on it acquired.
Hat sie das gesagt?
Ja. Und jetzt gucken wir nochmal durchs Fenster. Und drücken auf die Maschine da drüber.
Das?
Ich glaube die oder die da drunter. This thing here looks like a voltmeter. And it's... I can see. Weiß sie, dass sie das wie ein Voltmeter aussieht. And is this the control for that? Gosh, there's so many dials. Why don't you try turning one of them?
Sure.
Nope. Nothing. There's no power here, guys. I turned the tile a whole bunch, but even if I turn all the switches on, nothing happens. Okay, drück auf die Maschine drunter. Hey, Clover here, how are the power cables over there? Huh? What do you mean? Does the plug have 3 prongs or 2? Oh, I don't know what you're talking about. Let me go look. Guess she does have a kind... Guess she does have to kind of crouch down to get a look under here. There. The cable on the monitor has it's got 2 of those little metal things. What does that mean? That's it. Okay, can you unplug that cable and bring it over here? Okay, but... Well, I can unplug it, but it's connected to the main computer. And I can't take it over to you. Damn it, that's not good then. Well, how about just the plug? What? The plug? Well, maybe more like a connector. It's a sort of thing that makes the plug with 3 metal thingies into a plug with 2 metal thingies. Still useless? Not useless. Not useless at all. That's just what we're looking for. Okay. Can you hold on for a little bit? And back down she goes. Alright, unplugged. I'll hand it to you over at the bars. Und das wäre halt nicht getriggert worden, aber nicht im Monitor vorher.
Ja.
Und da hing ich lange fest, weil das hier nicht steht. Here you go. 2-prong plug. Thanks.
Yay.
So, dann kombinieren wir das einmal mit dem Power Cable.
Combine. Okay.
Put the 2-prong plug onto the head of this Power Cable. Und dann gehen wir mal zum Computer.
Der hier was,
Genau.
ne? Oh.
Alright, I've got the 2-prong power cable in my hand. I'm pretty sure this will work. Under the desk I go. And let's just plug this thing into the monitor. Alright, that ought to do it. Alright, let's turn the power on. I don't think anything's going to happen. Why not? Well, it's not connected to the main computer. You never know until you try. Pretty optimistic.
Junpei pushed a button on the front of the monitor. With a soft hum, it turned on. Streams of letters that made no sense to Junpei began to scroll across the screen. He had hoped it would turn on, but he hadn't expected this.
Huh? It's actually working? So it would seem. Isn't that kind of weird? What? Well, it's not connected to the main computer, right? There's just this keyboard and a monitor. The only cable connected to this thing is the power cable we just plugged in. So why is it working? Maybe it's a wireless display.
Clearly, this was a reasonable explanation to Lotus.
What? A wireless display? Yeah, it's connected to your computer wirelessly. Hence the name. Have you been living in a cave, Junpei?
It's the Wii U.
What?
He most certainly had not, but...
Is that normal? Yeah, at least where I worked. What? Oh, sehr, sehr verdächtig. Irgendwo mit kabellosen Monitoren.
Yeah, as they spoke, the lines of letters suddenly stopped and disappeared. The only thing left on the screen was the word pass, followed by a colon.
It looks like we need to enter a password. Again. There must be a hint around here somewhere. Could you take a look? Yeah, I'm on it.
Warum machst du nicht?
What are you going to do? Well, let's see if I can do something about this on my own. On your own? Yep, on my own.
Lotus pulled over the nearest chair and dropped herself down onto it in front of the keyboard.
Tits!
Oh yeah. For a second, she stared at the
Not
screen.
how that works at all.
She netted her hands, knuckles popping, and twisted her back left, then right.
Alright, let's kick some ass.
Lotus smiled to herself and rubbed her hands together in anticipation. Then, before Junpei had time to blink, she was typing at an incredible speed, the click-clack of the keys running together like machine gun fire.
What?
Junpei was, for once, at a loss for words.
Didn't expect that, did you? Of course I didn't. What kind of job do you have? What are you? I'm unemployed at the moment. I used to work for a cybersecurity firm, but I quit. Why?
Lotus blinked.
Huh? Oh, and it was just that something.
She stopped typing for a moment and her face fell. This was not an avenue of questioning to be pursued, Junpei realized, and quickly shut his mouth. Lotus' fingers began to move again, and in a few seconds she was back up to speed. As she typed, more letters and symbols that meant nothing to Junpei began to pour across the screen.
What are you doing now? I'm going to try and brute force it. Brute what? It's a great Xbox game. Have you ever played it? It's a new Halo. A brute force attack is... Well, the short version is that I just attack the thing head on. The long version?
Without looking up or slowing down, she began to explain. A brute force attack is one of the simplest ways to break a cipher, she told him. It checks every possible combination until it finds the right one. For a complex cipher, it can take a very long time. The thought of doing something like that made Junpei feel tired, but Lotus explained that she was writing a program that would run just such an attack on its own.
It's not the most elegant solution, but given the circumstances, there isn't much else I can do.
Even as she talked, her fingers never slowed or missed a key. Junpei couldn't help but feel a little awed.
Oh, but back to what we were talking about earlier. What were we talking about? The wireless display. It's... diese Diskussion, ganz kurz, ich möchte kurz mal, dass ihr euch merkt, weißt du, was jetzt kommt?
Ich glaube nicht.
Ich möchte, dass ihr euch kurz merkt, was der Aufhänger für diese Diskussion war. Und in dieser Story, ne, ergibt das dann später durchaus noch Sinn, aber dieser Aufhänger für diese Diskussion, die jetzt kommt, hat mich komplett verwirrt. Ihr seht gleich, was ich meine. It's kind of strange if you think about it, isn't it? Huh? How do I put it? Well, let's say you write a program that calculates an addition problem for you. All right. So you enter 1 + 1. The screen will show you 2. See, isn't that strange? No, not really. Oh, come on now. Of course a caveman like you would think it was strange. You said so just a minute ago. You're just not getting it, are you? Who calculated 1 + 1? The main computer, right? You said it's connected to the monitor wirelessly. Yeah, but someone who grew up in a cave wouldn't know that, right? They'd probably think that this thing here, the monitor, is doing the calculating. And once they've decided that, they'll start examining the monitor. They might poke the screen or something. Ah, I see. The color changes when I press it here. Then they might investigate the hardware on the inside. Ah, I see. So this wire supplies power. Eventually, they might even cut the wires. Ah, yes, just as I expected. When this wire is cut, no results appear. Therefore, it must be this device which does the calculations. But the truth is that, just like you said, the computer is doing the calculating. But these cave people wouldn't know that, because they have no idea that the monitor and the computer are connected wirelessly.
Lotus continued to type. Junpei scratched his head.
So, what are you trying to say? Nothing. Really? It's just... I thought, maybe... What if the relationship between human beings and our brains is like that? What? Well, let's say you stick a bunch of electrodes into parts of the brain. A scientist examining the signals they send out might say, interesting, so stimulating this part of the brain causes this person to see colors. That must mean this neuron cluster controls that function. Okay, let's see what happens when I cut out this part. Ah, just what I thought. Cutting off this part causes that function to cease. Therefore, human thought processes must occur in the human brain. You get it? It's just like this monitor. Maybe the brain is just an output device, like this monitor. Maybe our thought processes actually occur somewhere else, in a main body. We just don't know it. We never even think about it. Just like those cave people wouldn't know about wireless communications. We can't imagine that there's some unknown medium that transfers information into our brains where we experience that information as thoughts.
Junpei didn't say anything.
He backed away slowly.
Not so much because he had no retort. No, her argument just seemed silly, and he was a little surprised to be hearing something like it from someone like her. The brain is just an output device? Human thought actually occurs somewhere else. Did Lotus really think that, he wondered? It was a little creepy, Junpei thought. It sounded altogether too much like a bizarre cultish religion.
Maybe that's the cause of Seven's amnesia.
Oblivious to Junpei's increasing discomfort, Lotus continued.
If memory is actually stored somewhere else in some sort of main body somewhere, maybe he hasn't forgotten anything at all. He's just having a difficult time accessing his memories because the monitor, his brain, has been damaged. I suppose that would explain Phasaeus and Blindside too. Perhaps they actually can speak or see. The monitor just isn't functioning. Weißt du, was auch erklären würde? Dass sie blind sind! Das ist auch eine gute Erklärung. I guess people with prosopagnosia could be suffering from the same thing. Wait a minute. What?
He knew what aphasia was from watching medical dramas on TV, and blindsight was easy enough to guess, but he'd never heard of the word prosopagnosia before.
Richtig. What, you've never heard of prosopagnosia?
Lotus spun around in a chair to look at him. Junpei just shrugged and shook his head.
Nope. What is it? Well, put simply, it means a condition where the mind can't distinguish between human faces. In other words, my face would look the same as Clover's, or even yours. So they can't remember faces, which is how most people recognize each other. That means that people with prosopagnosia have trouble recognizing even people they are close to. Usually they can make do by associating people with other things. Their voices, their clothes, their hair. Does that mean other people's faces look like blanks? No, I don't think so. You've seen monkeys, like in a zoo, right? To you and me, all the monkey faces look the same. Even though they have obviously got faces, it's almost impossible for a human to distinguish between them. The zoo staff that works with them would learn to identify different monkeys eventually, but you or I couldn't unless one had a scar or something else to set it apart. That's how people would be to someone with prosopagnosia. Clover so, Leute! Prosopagnosia,
Die gibt's ja auch noch.
Didn't even know that kind of thing existed.
Junpei did his best to act as though the entire lecture hadn't gone entirely over his head.
And what were we talking about? The idea that your brain is just an output device, like a monitor. Are you serious about that stuff? Not really. I was just kidding for about half of it. What about the other half? Well, I guess I was just adulting. Not funny.
Lotus' smile had something rather masochistic to it.
It's nothing more than a story I made up out of boredom. Don't take it seriously. Was the first thing that came to mind and just talked about it to kill time. But it looks like I don't need to talk anymore. Why? I don't have to kill time any longer.
As she spoke, Lotus raised her right arm high and brought it down on the enter key.
Wasn't Death Note move.
The program took only seconds to analyze the system. Chunks of text flickered on and off in quick succession, and then a line of numbers appeared, blinked and disappeared. The screen cleared, and all that was left was the word accepted.
Piece of cake.
Lotus would clearly have patted herself on the back if it would not have made her look entirely ridiculous,
das wird sie
in
nie
contrast to now.
Ja.
After a few seconds, the accepted disappeared to be replaced with 9 squares arranged in a 3x3 square.
What the hell is that? No idea. It looks like a puzzle.
Suddenly, Lotus stood up.
Huh? Aren't you gonna, I don't know, do more computer stuff? I can't do any more. It won't let me do any more programming. See, the keyboard. Nothing. So there's nothing more I can do? Well, I guess I'll leave this to you then, Junpei. What? Let me take a break, alright? I did my part.
He wasn't sure what to say to that. She certainly had done her part. In fact, without Lotus, they probably would have run completely aground. I shouldn't rely on other people so much, Junpei thought to himself. From here on out, he told himself he would rely on no one else. Junpei crossed his arms and stared at the puzzle shown on the screen.
So, wir müssen, das drücken wir nix. Wir müssen jetzt quasi alles grün machen. Das machen wir, indem du unten rechts drückst, dann oben rechts, dann oben links und in der Mitte. Easy.
Yay!
Alright, I solved it. Did you hear a noise just now? Yeah, I did. It sounded like something unlocking. Where did it come from? Die rechte Seite der Locker ist jetzt offen. Look, Junpei! The lights on the lockers are green! Then we must have unlocked it with the computer puzzle.
Leer. Schade.
What's in here? The video game leer? Oh no! Muss auf die Keys drücken.
Hab ich.
Nee.
Doch. Erneut. So.
There's more than one key in here. This one is small and looks like it goes to some sort of machine.
Jetzt habe ich sogar einen Stylus, mit dem ich recht präzise bin.
And this one has the Earth symbol on it. I think the Earth symbol matches a keyhole in a door on A deck. Well, if that's the case, we probably don't need the Earth key right now. Alright then, Earth key. I'll just tuck you away deep in my pocket. Now, as for the other key. So, den muss ich jetzt mit dem Main Computer mit dem anderen Monitor. Nachdem wir fertig gesprochen haben.
It was just at that moment that he heard a voice behind him. It was Clover.
Hey, Junpei, do you have a minute?
He put the puzzle aside for a moment and walked over to Clover.
What's up? I wanted to ask you something. Junpei, you went into door 5 with my brother, right? Did you hear him say, like, anything weird?
Why is she asking me this? Junpei wondered. The more he thought about it, however, the more it made sense. Snake had been gone for a long time. Clover was quite attached to her brother. Of course she would have been worried about him. He thought back to when he'd gone through door 5, hoping he might remember something, even a small something that would help her. However...
Sorry, Clover. I can't really think of anything. I mean, he did mention that his hearing exceeds that of a regular person or something like that, but that's about it. Okay.
Clover's words were barely audible. She nodded vaguely to Junpei and turned to walk away.
Hey, wait a minute. Huh? Look, I don't know if I should ask you things, but if you don't mind, I was hoping you could tell me if, Snake, I mean, was he born? You're talking about his eyes? Yeah. No. He wasn't born blind. When he was a kid, he got in an accident. A really bad car accident. He couldn't see after that, and his arm... His arm? Yeah. My brother's left arm is, It's not like a normal person's arm. It's fake. It's not a real arm. The accident hurt him real bad. To save him, they had to cut off his arm. Is that all you wanted to ask me?
Talking about her brother had clearly taken a great deal out of Clover. Junpei nodded.
Look, I'm sorry for making you talk about all that painful stuff.
Clover only shook her head and walked off down the stairs.
So, jetzt versuchen wir es, glaube ich, mal mit dem Main Computer.
Also dem hier drin oder
ja.
Dem
der
hier
andere
drin?
Monitor. Nee,
der andere.
Wo du drin bist, genau.
Das
der
hier.
Ja. Das ist halt, also
Ach stimmt, ja. Ja.
This key, the shape sure makes it seem like it goes to this machine. Alright, I'm turning it on. Okay, the monitor's on now. And it's full of letters.
Is it?
It's showing some kind of warning. Power restored to experimental device. Emergency system will activate in the event of abnormal subject behavior. Okay.
Soll ich nochmal draufdrücken?
Ja, auf dem Monitor. Nee, doch nicht anscheinend nicht. Okay, dann gucken wir jetzt mal das Mannequin an durchs Fenster. There's something sticking out of the mannequin's head like wires or something. What the hell were they doing in here? Why is she all quiet now? They were doing experiments on humans. Probably. Oh man, now she looks sad. So, okay, drück auf den Table daneben. Oder nee, guck noch die Maschine dahinter, die große. Junpei, this thing in here is on now. Yeah, that's cause we activated the power over on this side. Could you like play with it a little? Okay, yeah. I'll turn this dial here. Turn. Oh, I don't think it's working. Nothing happened. Well, maybe she missed something. I should ask her to look around the room again. Oh, examine. Drücken wir auf die kleine Maschine davor. Das ist der Monitor. So, I hold it of cables under this table. Das ist auch der Monitor. Ein großes Ding dahinter. Maybe if you increase the voltage. Watcha. Will do. Okay, I'm gone all the way to max voltage. Max voltage? Hey!
Klingt wie ein Name.
Ja. Wait, Clover. Ah, shit.
Oh, shit. Oh. Oh.
What? I think, ja, das ist ja mal lustig. Oh my god! Mannequin's head! Oh man, that sounds like a fire alarm. Ah, what the hell? Fire detected. Fire detected. The emergency system will be activated. Evacuate the room immediately.
Was ist denn das für eine Announcer-Stimme?
Der ist war Snake. Jetzt kannst du links, also rechts oder links von ihr ist eine Tür. Links von ihr ist eine Tür. Links? Da, die Tür rechts kannst du aufmachen. The control device for the electronic door lock. The green light is on.
Ist das Teil des Rätsels, dass man Brand ansteckt?
Junpei, look! At the lights. Yeah, it's green. The emergency system is activated and disabled the lock. Now we can save Clover. Junpei! Come on, kid, jump! She's safe. Oh man, that smoke is some serious business. Time to close this door again, I think. Clover, are you okay? Are you hurt? Damn, she's coughing so hard she can't even talk. Of course I'm not alright. What the hell took you so long, you big jerk? I was almost dead. Sorry, I was going as fast as I could. You two can do this later. Right now we need to get the hell out of here. That fire's not going to stay in that room forever.
Einfach links die Tür jetzt?
Ein komisches Puzzle, ne?